President Macron says France will end its military presence in Niger and pull ambassador after coup.
Here's a summary of the article.
Paris, President Emmanuel Macron announced Sunday that France will end its military presence in Niger and pull its ambassador out of the country as a result of the coup that removed the democratically elected president. France has maintained some 1,500 troops in Niger since the July coup, and had repeatedly refused an order by the new junta for its ambassador to leave, saying that France didn't recognize the coup leaders as legitimate. Tensions had mounted in recent weeks between France and Niger, a former French colony, and Macron said recently that French diplomats were surviving on military rations as they holed up in the embassy. In an interview with the France 2 and TF1 television networks, Macron said he spoke to Bazoum on Sunday and told him that France has decided to bring back its ambassador, and in the coming hours our ambassador and several diplomats will return to France. After the deadline expired without France recalling him, the coup leaders then revoked his diplomatic immunity. In New York on Friday, the military government that seized power in Niger accused UN Secretary-General Antonio Guterres of obstructing the West African nation's full participation at the UN's annual meeting of world leaders in order to appease France and its allies. Ru Lebovich, a research fellow with the Clingendale Institute, a think tank, said the decision marks both an acceptance of a harsh reality for France in the region and may possibly put some limits on the US deployments in Niger, though as we have seen, the US and France have not followed exactly the same positionings in Niger.
This post received a score of 13,000, with an upvote ratio of 96%. Here are the top comments in response to this article.
So, what happened to this intervention that was going to toss the junta out of power? Have they given up on this?
ECOWAS bailed, and given France's current popularity in the region, they're just going to let the Sahel countries fuck themselves. No point in helping, if nobody want them to help. I.e. it's an African issue, so let African nations deal with it. Seriously, look at the nosedive Mali is in now, that's Niger's near future.
I was working in France this week with refugees from Mali. They got on a small boat and landed in Italy. Because they speak French they got sent into France. Letting African nations deal with problems doesn't mean France don't have problems. Niger has French as its official language.
Niger also has the highest birth rate in the world, 7 children per woman. Niger also has uranium. Niger also has a major smuggling route. Niger's problems will spread far beyond its borders. It's unfortunate that ECOWAS bailed because they were the key to any intervention having sufficient perceived legitimacy. The solution Europe and the US are left with is one of containment rather than intervention.
The issue with uranium mining isn't that it's scarce. Reactors need so little of it compared to coal or oil. A few handful of mines would all that would be required. Most mines are part of larger mining companies, and I imagine that quite a lot of them are only kept on the expenses sheet because of government intervention to keep the mines and expertise in place if needed. For contrast, most nations that mine and trade uranium ore produces just several thousand tons of it per year.
Interesting, and thank you for educating me. When I flew to Niger in 2020, about half the plane was full of Chinese in matching white coveralls. I was told the Chinese were there because of the uranium deposits, but that may have been uninformed gossip. Edit. Uninformed, not uniformed.
I suppose now is as good a time as any to pull the plug and walk away.
The West is running out of appetite to get stuck in military quagmires in countries of limited strategic value. They will fight in the case of Taiwan, but you'll be hard-pressed to show how overturning a coup in Niger is worth it for France. I feel bad for the people of Niger, but we can't come in guns blazing every time there's political instability in Africa or the Middle East.
Greater than how overturning a coup in Niger is worth it for France. If it's not France, then it will be China or Russia.
China and Russia won't have to overturn anything. They don't care about the change in government. What, do we invade any country that may pivot towards China, Russia?
This video was automatically created by Reddit to speech. The article and comments in this video were selected from Reddit according to their upvotes, and any paraphrasing was performed by smmry.com, without any human intervention.